So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Sorry for the slight delay in the start. Welcome to this official eve of match briefing with Team Ireland. Delighted to welcome to the top table, far left, the skills and kicking coach, Richie Murphy, and to his right, of course, Johnny Sexton. Before we start, just a reminder, we do have, as usual, simultaneous interpretation, so please do wait for the microphone, and it would be helpful if you could say who you are and who you represent. Thank you very much. Okay, first question, please. Gentleman here in the middle. Thank you.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi.
The week after you beat New Zealand in Chicago in 2016, the match the following week was a pretty brutal game, wasn't it? There was a bit of a backlash. People talked about it in that context. Obviously, you beat them in November. Would you be expecting something similar in this game? And how do you combat that if it is to be similar?
Yeah, look, I'm sure they will bring that physical edge that they always do. And I'm sure that's what they'll be speaking about, leading into the game. I think as far as that last game went, I think that was almost a turning point in a lot of the law changes after that game in terms of high tackles and, some of the yellow cards that were given out, some of the things that were missed would now be red. So I don't think that they probably weren't intentional at the time, but if they happen now, there'd be bigger consequences. So I don't think it'll happen again. I think they had a game where they went down to 14 against Australia, so I'm sure their discipline will be very, very good on the day.
Thank you. Gentleman there, please. Raise your hand.
Johnny, you described on Monday that this game, obviously tomorrow, is the biggest of your career. How do you go about preparing for that, more or less keeping a lid on everything that distracts from that?
It's pretty easy when you got the quality of coaches that we have, the quality of captain that we have. So we basically just listen to them. We go with what they're saying. We've got a good leadership group around Rory, and we've just been day by day focused. You can't play the game on a Monday or a Tuesday. We'd have done okay if we played it on Monday because we trained brilliantly, or on Tuesday. But you can't win it during those, but you can prepare really well and you can put yourself in with the best chance of doing it. And we've done that all week. We've had a good week's prep. Guys are going in fresh and ready to go. But we've had weeks like that where we haven't performed, and we've had weeks like that where everything's gone perfectly and we've played brilliant. So nothing really counts until tomorrow kick-off time, and we got to produce the goods then.
Thank you. Gentleman here, please.
Just in terms of the year as a whole, Johnny, how much has a week like this been the focus of everything? Joe mentioned after the Six Nations maybe having won previous titles, there wasn't as much focus on that actual achievement. In terms of the overall year building towards this, what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been a long time in the back of our minds, this quarter final. It was always going to be a case of, if we did get through our pool, that we would play South Africa or New Zealand, with all due respect to the other sides that were in it. But that was the likelihood, and we're here now. It's a little bit surreal. It's a little bit sort of, wow, I can't believe it's finally here. And this time 4 years ago, I was a supporter like you guys, and it's not a great place to be. So really looking forward to getting out there and on the biggest stage and trying to show what we can do against the best team in the world, a team that hasn't lost a World Cup game in whatever it is, two World Cups. So it's going to be an enormous challenge, but one that we're excited about and that we're really eager about, and we want to make the people at home really proud.
Thank you. We'll go to the back, please, and then to the front. Thank you.
Johnny, this New Zealand backline's quite inexperienced. Could that work in your favour? Could you take advantage?
Inexperienced?
Relatively.
To the old lads like us. It's not something I saw when I looked at their backline. Even their bench, I think, has a few caps, with Sonny Bill Williams there. And No, look, there is a couple of guys in there that, you know, their wingers only have a couple of caps, a few caps each, and Richie Mwanga has only just come on the stage, but they've been all three have been really, really impressive. And they've had some pretty big games under their belt. Like if you go to that South Africa game, even in the pool, they've performed really well there. And they're the foreign players. They're the guys that were outstanding for the Crusaders all year. They've got that winning mentality, and I'm sure that's why they're picked.
Thank you.
Johnny, you've achieved so much in the green jersey, in the blue jersey. Irish rugby's come on so much over the last 15, 20 years, and in your time. How does Ireland's record at this tournament sit with you, given everything you've achieved outside of it?
Yeah, of course we'd like it to be better, but it has been. It is what it is. You know, there's nothing we can do about the previous results. All we can do now is concentrate on putting in our best performance tomorrow, and that'll give us a chance. And you know, if we can walk off that pitch tomorrow having played our best, given everything, we'll be able to look at ourselves no matter what. And that's all we can focus on. Records about the tournament. It's not something that we've already spoken about. We of course we know that we can make history and we can create something a little bit special if we do that. But yeah, I can't really speak about, you know, Ireland's record because it's been a different group every time.
Thank you. Over at the front, please.
Richie, this one's for you. This one's for you, I feel.
Johnny, you obviously decided it was worth coming down here today. It was obviously a long way from your hotel. Just can you explain a bit how important familiarity is with a stadium ahead of a big game like this, and maybe Rich could explain why Joey and Connor didn't perhaps come and do their kicking.
You go first.
The boys done their captain's run. We done some stuff this morning, so I was feeling that we didn't want them to do two things in the one day, so that they decided to sit it out. Both guys are comfortable with where they're at. Johnny likes to go and likes to see the stadium. He's never been here before. Joey was here a couple of years ago, so it was just a case that we left it up to the players themselves, and that's the way that cards fell, really.
Yeah, and same for me. I just didn't want to break routine really before a big game. I've never not kicked in the stadium the day before a game. I wasn't going to start something new now. So I just wanted to get my preparation done as usual. Had the bus to myself, as you saw. Had the pitch to myself, which was a bit strange. But yeah, I able to chill out in the bus and do the same on the way back.
Thank you. Come to the front and then to the gentleman there. Thank you.
Johnny, I think only 3 points in the tournament have come from penalties for Ireland. It's been very much you're going for it on every penalty. You're either tapping and going, or you're kicking to the corner. You're going for tries. Now that you're knockout, how much does that change? And have you been working on drop goals at all, in case they might come in handy over the course of the next 80 minutes? Yeah,
there'll be. I suppose it'll be a mix and match. I think in a few of those games. Well, especially the Scottish game, I can't speak for the Japan game, but in the Scotland game, it wasn't necessarily the plan to not take three. If we had some penalties, you know, in those between the 15s, we definitely would have gone for them. But the times that we had them, we felt that we had Scotland under the pump a little bit. They'd given away a couple of penalties, and we thought that another infringement would get a yellow card. So we went to the corner, aggressive plays, and they paid off. Against Samoa, we were really going for that 5 points to make sure that we got into the quarters. Same against Russia. So yeah, it'll be a different game tomorrow in terms of when 3 points are on offer. We might take them. We might not. We might try and be aggressive. But yeah, it's all really how the game is going and the balance. But been preparing the same every game. Like, you know, we took a lot of penalties today out in front, a lot of drop goals, and yeah, if they're required tomorrow, we'll go for them.
Thank you. Gentleman here, please.
Just on the knockout rugby kind of element of it, obviously Ireland haven't won one, All Blacks have, but how useful are things like Leinster's achievements or maybe even a Grand Slam run? Do you feel like you have some sense of an ability to be good in knockout rugby?
Yeah, I think that's I actually remember Declan Kidney saying that to us in 2011 was, you know, we've been reared in knockout rugby. You know, for me, I came up through the school system, which, you know, cup rugby, knockout rugby, going to play Mary's, you know, playing in the the All-Ireland League, all those cups that you play with at club level, and then into Heineken Cup. So we're sort of reared and you know, we play a lot of knockout rugby. We probably play a little bit more than New Zealand if they go straight to a semis after a conference. And yeah, so it's something that, you know, it doesn't feel too different to all those other knockout games that I've been involved in. And we just need to use our experiences there to guide us tomorrow.
Thank you. Gentleman there.
Johnny, we're in the final weeks of Joe's era as head coach, irrespective of what happens tomorrow. For you, what's his legacy to Irish rugby?
How many times I've spoke about Joe a lot. I'm going to get some serious slagging now when I go back to the hotel. There's already enough slagging about me and Joe's relationship for me to delve any deeper. We had Richard Cooper in just for lunch today, and he did a bit of a skit on Joe, which was very good, and Joe took it very well. But look, Joe's legacy really it speaks for itself. You know, we don't want to get distracted by it being his last, you know, game or second last game or third last game. We want it to be. We'll talk about him, you know, when it's done, and it'll be the same for Rory. But his legacy speaks for itself, and I have spoke about it on numerous occasions. So, yeah, if we can maybe go back and look at the press conference a few weeks ago, it'll be okay.
Thank you. At the front, please. Just a second, please. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, carry on. Thank you.
Johnny, you played on some great teams over the years. Where does this 23 rank? Yeah,
right up there. Right up there. That's where we get our little bit of belief and a little bit of confidence from, is when you look around the circle. And I'm not talking about the experienced guys. For me, I look around and see, you know, guys like Gary Ringrose, Jacob Stockdale, James Ryan, guys that are just top quality people, players. And then you can look around at some of the more experienced guys that have been around the block. So that's what gives us belief and confidence. But yeah, in terms of the team, yeah, right up there. And I think our biggest strength is our collective, and we pretty much do anything for each other. Yeah.
Thank you. At the front, please.
Johnny, tomorrow yourself and Conor will break the record for the most appearances by a halfback partnership for Ireland. You go second in the all-time behind Larkham and Gregan. It's an amazing achievement for the two of you. Can you talk to us a little bit about that partnership, how it's grown, and when you're out there with him as an established combination, what does it give you in terms of a bit of telepathy, a bit of knowing what he's going to do next, a bit of communication, that sort of thing? Yeah, it's been like I said last week or started this week, when we started off together, you wouldn't have believed that we'd have gone on and played this many games together. It was like two strangers. We were almost introducing ourselves to each other in the first few games. And look, we've gone from strength to strength. He's a top quality operator. His quality of pass, his kicking game, the basics. What world class scrum halves are, and he's up against one. Again tomorrow in Aaron Smith. But it's been a pleasure to play alongside him, and I hope that we get many more together. At the end of the World Cup, you guys will probably turn and start calling for our heads because we'll be too old and the next batch has to come through. I can see it already, but we hope that we've got a few more years left together. Yeah.
Thank you. Can I just check any questions from Japanese colleagues?
No.
No? Everybody happy? Okay. In which case, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, gentlemen, and good luck for tomorrow's game. Thank you.